Hello YouTube, this is Old School from WhatTheBuc.net, coming to you live from what's now called Studio 76, which is my poker room here in Valrico. Sorry it's been so long since I reported. I had planned to get some recordings done when I was up in Chicago on vacation, but I was unable to do so. Caught the Jags game via internet feed, thanks to everyone who's getting that out there for folks. I got a chance to watch it again a couple times on DVR, so I'm going to talk a little bit about the Jaguars game, what happened with the Bucs. Preseason, we don't talk a whole lot about matchups necessarily because we're not as interested in the actual game as we are about the tape that we get on some of these players that may be on the bubble, or even some of the guys who are on the bubble. We want to know what they're doing from a performance perspective here in Tampa Bay. Obviously, one of the big concerns we have is this quarterback battle that's going on. I think a lot of folks thought Byron Leftwich was going to be handed this job. Some people thought Freeman was going to be handed the job as our number one draft pick. Some folks like myself thought McCown had the best talent and gave us the best chance of actually winning now. The battle has gone back and forth. In Game 1, Byron Leftwich came out statistically on top after coming in after Luke McCown struggled behind an offensive line that couldn't do a damn thing to protect him against the Titans. In the Jaguars game this week, they flipped the script a little bit, let Byron start out with the ones, and he had a relatively poor outing is probably overstatement. He wasn't particularly exciting. I think he was like 6 of 9 for like 91 yards or something like that. I don't have the stats in front of me, but Luke came out and led the team with a short field as a benefactor of Sammy Strouder's nice kickoff return and a couple of other good things from a defensive perspective. Got us to a couple touchdowns, some nice accurate throws, one to Jeremy Stevens, another one to Sammy Strouder, who's really starting to pop. Looks like he's going to make a claim for that third or fourth receiver spot, especially given the fact that Brian Clark all but disappeared in this second game, dropping a number of easy passes, showing up only on special teams, which is good. But that's what Stovall does, too. In this game, actually, Stovall caught the ball a couple times. So where Brian Clark looked like he was pretty much inked in that third receiver spot, he dropped a lot of distance against the Jaguars. A couple of the matchups we're going to take a look at, though, really relate to the Buccaneers' secondary and our pass defense in general. When you look at what the Bucs had this year, we had the experiment with Jermaine Phillips going from safety to linebacker, and that experiment has essentially ended with a variety of reasons. Not the least of which being Tanar Jackson's 4-game suspension for violating the NFL substance policy. We don't know what the substance is. Tanar Jackson came out, apologized, said he let his team down, he let his fans down. We know all of that, but you knew the rules. This is ridiculous. It's unacceptable. We're going to lose him for at least 4 games. And that sucks, right, because he's a stud. No other way to talk about it. Will Allen, his backup, is nowhere near the caliber he is, has an injury. We're having injuries all over the defensive backfield. Then, to compound issues, Aqib Talib, our number one cornerback, goes and punches a cabbie from the back seat like an idiot, and he's looking at a 1 to 4 game suspension as well. So we go from having Aqib Talib at the number one spot to probably not having him for 4 games. Tanar Jackson, our best secondary player, because Sabi Piscatelli is hot and cold, and he was colder than ice against the Jaguars, getting beat like he stole something twice by Troy Williamson. We're having some serious issues. So Flip's going to go back to safety. We'll have Flip and Sabi back there. Dante Nicholson is battling. Cargyle is battling. We got a couple people that are battling for that spot. Some people in Tampa have called for Dwight Smith to come back into the picture. I don't know what they're going to do, to be quite honest. At the corner position, it's even uglier with Albert Mack, who had stepped up and looked like he'd push Rondé Barber for time at the number 2 cornerback, sliding Rondé to the nickel. Came up with an ankle sprain. So we got Torrey Cox, who's sort of been perennially injured, going to get some quality minutes over there. Maybe some guys like Arrington. Going to get some time. It's definitely going to be a makeshift secondary. When we look at the numbers so far, through 2 games, we're giving up an average of 250 yards to the air. It's just not going to work when you face a team like Dallas in the regular season. So Coach Morris is going to have to get on his horse and figure out what the heck we're going to do. The player conduct shit's just unacceptable. Tanar Jackson and Aqib Talib know better than that, and it's just a disgrace in a lot of ways. A couple of high points that we thought coming out of that game. Zone blocking scheme starting to come together. We're still playing with our backup center, Sean Mahan, who's really better suited to play guard. He slid over to play center with Jeff Fain out with a groin pull. Jeff Fain should be back this week, as should E. Graham, who's going to be fighting for that starting spot because Derek Ward's starting to look pretty darn good behind the zone blocking scheme. Expect D. Ward to take a number of snaps. Big news this Thursday when the Bucs play against the Dolphins here in Raymond James Stadium. Cardell Cadillac Williams will make his debut for the year. Hopefully he's going to get out there and get some good minutes and not get re-injured. God help us. Clifton Smith looking good, showing some pop, getting a chance to carry the ball. Huggy Bear Huggins came up with a bit of an injury as well. He's probably practice squad material regardless. So all in all, it was a good game. Any game you can come out of with a win is good, but in the preseason we're not so much interested in that as we are in the tape. We got a lot of quality tape on a lot of guys. The only guy we didn't get some quality tape on, to be quite honest, is our boy Josh Johnson, who was relegated to handing the ball off constantly, which pissed me off. The quarterback thing is going to go all 4 quarterbacks. Josh Freeman got some decent tape up, got a nice scramble in for a touchdown, but I don't really want him scrambling for touchdowns. I'd like him throwing the ball. He still fixates on receivers too much and stares them down. He's got a huge arm. He can gun the ball in there. That's terrific. I still think he needs to sit at least half the year, depending on what we're doing, wins and losses, behind someone else and see what this NFL game is like full speed. So, an article was written this week about the contract status with Luke McCown and Byron Leftwich. They essentially had inverted contracts, whereby McCown got a contract or a signing bonus this year of around $2.5 million. Byron gets one next year. And so if you're going to go with 3 quarterbacks rather than 4, which is what most people believe the Bucs will do, you're going to pick either 2 vets and a rook, meaning Josh Johnson would be out because they're sure as hell not going to drop Freeman. Or you're going to say, listen, this is truly a youth movement. We're going to pick 1 vet. We're going to go with Freeman at the 2, and we're going to go with Johnson as a project at the 3, which is actually the way I would probably go. And given what I've seen so far and what I believe is going to be the case after week 3, that would be Luke McCown. He's got an over 100% quarterback rating, or 100 quarterback rating. It's not a percentage, a 102.5 if I recall, and around 60% completion percentage. Byron is sitting down in the 70s as a QB rating. And even the touchdown pass he threw to Brian Clark really wasn't that accurate a pass. It was a great catch by Brian Clark. We'll see. We don't know what's going to happen this Thursday. The Dolphins are putting up good numbers against some pretty good teams in the preseason. It's a good defense. It's a good test. We'll know a lot more after this game. If you're a local person here, come tailgate with WhatTheBuc.net and BucsChat.com and CaptainsDeck.net and the crew over in Lot 14. Check us out at the website, WhatTheBuc.net. We'll have a live show next Monday talking about this game. And get out there and comment. Let us know what you think. Thanks a lot. Make sure you rate the video. Hopefully you guys appreciate it. Let me know what I can do better. Thanks so much.